Is Raw of Earth, and we're about to go live with Christopher Witecki for Astro Mondays, where we're going to go over the astrology report, the weather report, so to speak, of the energies of today, the energies coming from the heavens. So let me just invite on at Christopher Witecki and guys, there's there's a lot always going on every single week in our lives. So just let us know how the heavens have been treating you and how that's impacting you in your life. Sound is great now, sounding much better. Let me just invite Chris. While I'm doing that, let me know where you're coming in from and what your week's been like. If you guys have been tuning in, you know that I've been going on and off this, which speaks to how life has been going for me. Things are tangled up right now. But we'll hear more about that when Chris gets on. Let me just make sure that he's coming on. Last week sucked ass, says Flax Magnificent. Last week sucked ass, but I came to a major realization as a result. Yeah, a lot of times that tangled pressure allows for an explosion, and then that explosion detaches us from things, and then that detachment allows for energy flow to come in through. Calgary, Canada, on and off today, feels lighter, the tangled webs we weave. Hi from Switzerland, Stillwater, Minnesota. Great sound now. Yeah, I figured out what was wrong, so I ended things and I came back and realized that I was using Bluetooth. So it was connecting to another device and not going into this microphone, which, just as an example of how things are going, I realized that this microphone just broke. So I've got a broken microphone. Serbia. Serious Joy TV is now on stage, coming up. Here we are.
Hey, buddy.
Chris, we normally talk about how things are going, and I can tell you that things feel like they're a mess right now for me.
Yeah,
So that's
they
how
are.
things are going with
You're a
me.
hot mess, Ra. You're a hot mess. Well,
Yeah.
everyone's a hot mess. Well, we're in transition, So we're in that point now where we're carrying out that so we've been crafting a belief in ourselves, about ourselves, and now we're trying to carry that belief into the existing false beliefs of life.
You're talking about Mercury, right?
Well, no, I'm talking about the Sun and Sag, and
Okay.
Mercury's back in Scorpio, so Mercury is like our minds are trying to figure out where the lines are. Where's the line? Where's the line? That's too far. That's not far enough. Oh shit, that's out of balance. So the mind is trying to negotiate the space, but the heart is trying to negotiate the why and the what. That makes sense.
Okay, so there's always these multiple agendas going on inside of us then, right?
Yes, 12 of them.
12 of them.
12 states of awareness. Yeah, yeah. We have 12 states of awareness inside of us. One state is Scorpio, which is the space between states, but that has to be managed too. So, space and time. So, how much time do I need to do this? Well, how much time do I need? So that's, time is space and time is like one of the things we have to manage. But yeah, the problem is that we are changing. It's like changing religions. In fact, I call it a me-ligion. People,
Yeah.
me-ligion is like, what my principles, my beliefs. I believe that life should be this way. It should be that way. And the problem is that we have crafted our lives to be what the world wanted,
Right.
not what we wanted. And we were told that we have to shut up and deal with it.
Yeah.
And that was a lie. We don't have to shut up and deal with it. We actually, the truth of the matter is that the world works through us. We create the world. And so the world should not be telling, our creation should not be telling us how to do it.
So that's what you were talking about last week, is we really get to decide what to stop being for other people and what we're going to be for more of ourselves, no
Yeah.
matter what other people think. And a lot of times, what you were saying last week, a lot of times that's going to conflict with the people that you've housed and encased around you based on your old identity where you were performing for them and not for yourself.
Yes, exactly. You're living according to their beliefs, not yours.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so where does that bring us this week? You said that we're now re-identifying, right?
Well, what's happening is that we're carrying out our beliefs now to our daily life, and we're carrying it out to our future plans. Right? We're creating policy now. Creating policy. So, what's my policy for this? What's my policy for that? You know, or you could say, what's my philosophy about this? What's my philosophy about that? And that's what the high degrees of Sagittarius is are our philosophies.
Can you elaborate a little bit more on that when you say philosophies? Like, do we, like, what exactly philosophies in regards to what?
Everything. So, what is my philosophy about what's my philosophy about work? Whenever you use the word should, okay, you're actually talking about your belief structure. Your belief structure. And your belief structure is your belief structure is sort of like your own constitution. Everyone has their own constitution inside them. And their constitution says, you have the rights to this. You have your own Bill of Rights inside yourself. You have your, what your own laws are. I cheat. I don't cheat. Like those are your rules. That's your constitution, and that you live by. And what I'm saying is that we've all written our constitution by taking a copy of the world's and just making little modifications. When really we should have drawn our own constitution from scratch. And that constitution ought to be built on what our heart feels is true for us, because what's true for you is not true for me.
Yeah, and a lot of times we're the receptor of the new consciousness, right? And so we're the ones that know. A lot of times the programming that's set by like old people, I guess, might have been true and wise and best for some people 50 years ago.
Right.
But as the energies are shifting, we're going to be in tune to that. And so we really need to make sure that we're always listening to ourselves because we're the conduit of the energy.
We're the creator. Yeah. I mean, we take the energy and we create with it. Yeah. Conduit's a good word, but conduit sounds like we just let it pass through us.
Right.
It's filtered and regenerated. You know.
I really like your distinctions
Thank you.
between the words.
Yeah. Yeah. We everyone interprets it on their own, and that's because well, first of all, there's a big disagreement about what the nature of reality is. You know, that's the biggest problem. I mean, the core issue is that we have a problem with the disagreement about the nature of reality. And so some people think the nature of reality is that we are born sinners and that, everyone has different beliefs about reality. And even science has its own beliefs about reality, that we just randomly, evolved from a germ in water to a human being, right? I love how science is like, you gotta be a fucking idiot to believe in God. I think you gotta be an
Right.
idiot to believe that an amoeba can become a human over a million years on its own. That's a fucking idiotic idea. Like, what? Let's stare at this amoeba and see for the next million years if it becomes a human.
And the Big Bang just out of nothing.
Yep. Yeah, exactly. And then why is it speeding up? You know, instead of slowing down. If you have an explosion, it should slow down over time, right? It should lose energy, but it's speeding up. So it's not even going according to laws of physics. It's going against the laws of physics.
Yeah.
It's actually, so anyways, the point is that nobody, nobody is going to know from looking at the outside world what reality is, because reality truly is an inner thing, right? Like you may see purple and I see red, I don't know. We'll never know. I'll never know if what I'm calling purple you see as red. I'll never know. It's your interpretation of red. When I hear a C sharp, you may hear a B flat. I don't know. We'll never know. So we have to build a world of laws based on the freedom to make that interpretation. You know, ultimately, I mean, as far as a solution is concerned. But individually, you don't have to wait for the laws. Just do it. No one's going to stop you. You know, just live by what you believe in your heart, you know? And so where we are now is we're on step 10 today. So today we are ratifying our inner constitution. So you're basically voting today and tomorrow on your own constitution, your own belief structure.
Aren't laws that are like from the government so that people don't do what they feel and there isn't chaos? Like that's kind of what we're sold to. The reason why we need rules and laws and policies from somebody else is because if we were just left to our own innate instincts.
We were left to our own, and what we created was civilization. So that makes no sense.
Right.
Right? It's like we were literally, you know, literally squatting in the woods to shit. And somehow, left on our own, we ended up with manufacturing, buildings, streets, roads, schools. That's what happened when we were left alone. So I don't know why we have a problem being left alone now. The truth of the matter is that people, there's truth of the matter is that people who are too lazy to explore their inner self would rather try to control the outer world than face their inner stuff.
Right.
And it's time that, you know, we not allow that to happen anymore. I say.
Okay, so what else is going on with astrology? Anything else that we need to be aware of?
Like other than the main topic? No. Well, there's a lot going on. What's really happening is that we're evolving. Human beings are evolving, and we're becoming brighter. We're becoming more aware. You know, you know, when you were a kid, think about it this way. Think about when you're like 5 years old or 10 years old. You know what you thought the world was, and now what you think the world is. The huge expansion of what, you know, our perception of what the world is. Well, now it's like we get a second growing up. Human beings, well, after having become adults, turns out there's another adult in us, and that adult is the ascended human. And this has not happened in thousands of years. You could say it's a spontaneous genetic revolution. You can say it's a lot of things, but what it is that we've grown as much as we can under certain circumstances, and so the human race is bursting out of those limits that it put on itself, and is now reestablishing its limits of understanding and awareness.
So we're growing up again. Is it everybody going through this?
Yes, everyone will go. Yes, I mean, they're going. Not everyone's aware they are. Some people think that they're going crazy. You know, some people think that the world's gone crazy, and that they're fine. You know, but that's a person who's refusing to grow, and so from their perception, because they refuse to grow, the world is going crazy.
And what about the systems of control? Do you have any knowledge about what they think about this, or what their plan is for this?
Here's the irony. There's no way they will remain in control, because if everyone grows out of what they were and they want to keep things the same, that means their power will stay the same and we'll grow past them. You know what I mean? They say, let's keep it the way it is. They're not, you know, if they were becoming more, if they were saying, hey, we're going to go a new system of control next year, they're not doing that. They're saying, let's keep it the way it is.
Right.
And so, well, okay, you know, you can try to keep a baby chicken the way it is in a cage, in a small cage, but once it grows, the cage is something's gonna break, either the chicken or the cage, you know. And so we're growing, and if they refuse to grow, we will break them open.
And so, what's our responsibility as individuals? Like, from an individual level, how do we contribute to this?
You serve yourself and your needs, and stop looking at your power as something outside of yourself. You know, your power is not getting the job. Your power is not uh, being popular on Instagram. Your power is not being recognized for your work at your employer. That's not where your power is. We were told that so that we can be controlled. Our real power is in the way we respond to ourselves. The way I
So,
treat myself is my power.
oh, as opposed to like the recognition that others give you, basically, is what you're saying.
You
But
fire the world and take over.
oh, so it's not what other people think about you, it's what you think about you.
Yes, because what happened is, if you didn't notice, is that when other people thought about you certain ways, you then started thinking about yourself differently. So
Right.
what they
You
actually did
degraded
was
yourself.
they actually warped the way we think of ourselves. Is what happened. That's how they got control.
Wow, yeah. And it's like they use the power of the community, they use the power of everyone around us so that we're all doing it to each other.
Correct. Yes. Instead of looking at the real person who's pulling the levers. Yeah. It's a very clever little trick, but it's just not going to last. People are just going to wake up. Eventually you realize where the pain's really coming from. What is 28-day reset? Yeah, that's a human garage term.
Yeah,
I believe that's on humangarage.net, right?
yeah. 28-day reset is a program from Human Garage. And Chris, you have a program too to help with this as well.
I do. Thank you for bringing it up. So what we're doing is we launched this. Well, we haven't launched it yet. We had our orientation, so people can still get into class. Okay, it's not really a class; it's a practicum. It's that we're going to practice. So we meet on Sundays. It's technically a class you pay for and you come to. So, and in this class, every week we practice one part of being human. One part of being human, and like the first part we're going to practice for the first 2 weeks we're going to practice boundaries. And
Why
so
is that first?
because boundaries are the first block of reality. The first thing God did was set the parameters,
Right.
right? So you set the parameters. Now, people are very bad at setting parameters. In fact, people don't even realize that they have to. In fact, that's actually one of the ways that we've been controlled. Is the government comes to you or someone comes to you and says, "Would you like A or B?" And what you don't realize is, why is it only A or B? No one questions that. No one questions, why is the parameter A or B? Why isn't it A, B, or C? Why isn't it freehold? See, that first parameter pretty much locks you in their prison immediately. When they say you have the right to remain silent, you have just been locked into their constitution. It's like, I have more rights than that, actually.
Okay. So that's what we go over first is our parameter, our personal parameters.
We set our parameters, we set our boundaries. So we're going to practice, and we're in registration. We registered, so that video is available. So if you sign up for the class right now, you can watch this 2-hour video where I describe what we're going to do. It's really deep, but it's really profound. So what we do is we're going to look at our own astrology chart, and we're going to look at the parts that I'm going to show you how to find the parts that you're bad at, things you're bad at, and we're going to practice parameters in the parts of our life that we're bad at. So
And
we're going to,
that's cool. I really like practicing. It's like you're practicing with your own psyche and your own beliefs.
yes, that's exactly what it is. So I gave you 6 days of practice. I gave you a practice for Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. And then Sunday we meet. And then Monday, Tuesday. And so in the class, all you have to do is to tell us what you came up with. What was the best practice you found on you? What worked the best on you? So you have to come back to the community. We have this technology where you write in the technology, you say, this is what worked best on me. This is what worked best on me. And so we all report to each other what worked best on us. Therefore, we then not only have our best results, but then we see everyone else's best results, which allows us to maybe go, wow, that one might work even better than the one I thought of. So this is a collaborative class where we're all coming up with the solutions together. It's really a research project where we're all little researchers using our own life as the experiment and then reporting the results to each other so we can all maximize on the game.
And I really like when you think about something, you practice it, and then you re-say it, and you hear yourself, and you hear how others reflect it. It's like it all gets encoded a lot deeper.
So deeper. And then what happens is I do a little lecture on like what this week's practice will be. And I do a little lecture on, the philosophies around this, boundaries, the philosophies around parameters. We're gonna do parameters for 2 weeks because we suck at it so bad. So, we're gonna do 16 steps. It's experiential learning. Yes, we're gonna do 16 steps, but we're actually gonna do step zero for 2 weeks of practicing step zero because human beings don't see zero is zero. It's nothing until it's something. So it's the one thing that we know nothing about. We don't even know it exists. We didn't even know there was a parameter. We didn't even know that you could put one up, and that's because no one told us, right? And the
Yeah.
and the people who understood parameters didn't share it because they wanted to control the parameters.
And I hear somebody, or I see somebody commenting that they missed yesterday, but you haven't started, right? Right?
Yesterday was an orientation, and it's completely videotaped, and it's sitting in the class waiting for you to watch. So, and this week, I can't remember what this week we're practicing. Every week we are basically asking ourselves a question, and we're trying to find the best way to do something. So, um, this week we're trying to find the best way to love ourselves. I think like we're starting off with that. So it's like, what's the best way to love myself? And so we have a practice for Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, all the way through Saturday, and then come the end of the week, tell us what you found the best way was. But what we're doing is we're using our astrology chart. And so we'll be using our astrology chart to Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday are our weakest parts. Uh, Thursday is our strongest part, like what we're best at in our chart. So we use our best part. So for instance, if your sun is in the seventh house, your best thing you do is relationships. So then that means on Thursday, you try to love yourself through the context of relationships and find, and the part of you're most talented. And so you find a way of loving yourself through relationships. And then on Friday, we find a way of loving ourselves through our feelings. And then on Saturday, we find a way of loving ourselves through changing space and time. So changing the order of things, moving things around. And so we basically experiment for 6 days with our own life as the experiment, and then we report to each other our results. So we report to each other the results into the software, and then we break it out in groups. And so this week we broke out in groups according to our signs. So all the Aries got together, all the Tauruses got together, all the Geminis, and they all had a discussion about the best way to love themselves. Actually, the discussion they had was why they took the class. So they all discussed why they took the class.
That
So what
sounds
this does,
amazing. Yeah. I
thank
really
you.
like how you do things, and I really like this. So guys, definitely go to, what is it, seriousjoy.academy?
Academy. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sign up. This is a very cool thing. Now, here's the thing. Not only is this a cool class, but I've timed it to be concise exactly with what astrology is teaching, anyways. So it's actually experiential astrology, where you are basically practicing what the planets are trying to teach you at the time they're teaching it to you.
Okay. So that's cool. Everybody join that. And
Huh.
then, Christopher, what's going on like from a day-to-day level this week?
Okay. Well, today we are ratifying our inner constitution. So we have these new laws that we're creating. My new law is that I'm going to live according to what I believe. And I've already started wars. My mom is yelling at me. My brother's yelling at me. They don't like because they've said they've been. It's funny. It's like they could sense I was changing because they started shitting all over me over the weekend. you should do this and you should do that and you should be doing this and you should be doing that. I'm like, no, I'm not doing anything you say. Well, how do you talk to your family like that? I'm like, no, I wasn't born for you. I was born for me. You were born for you. You do you and I'll do me. Like, so it's creating friction already, right? Because I have people around me. I don't know why. I understand why yet, but I've always had people. I'm the sensei, and people will tell me how to live my life, and I don't tell people how to live their life. I invite you into my knowledge if you like, but I don't. You won't see me in the grocery store following people around. You know what I mean? Like, hey, like I don't shit all over people. You have to subscribe to my channel. You have to enter my class. There's a boundary
Right.
there. You have to come in. You have to knock and say, "May I come in?" You have to pay me money. May I come in? And then I will tell you. But my family insists that I follow their advice, even though they're unhappy and miserable.
I think that's a lot of people's cases.
Yeah,
And so, just so people have a little bit of trust in themselves, how do we know when we're on the right track with this? Because if the people around us are saying, hey, you're going the wrong direction, how do we know that we're doing things correctly?
because it's making you happy.
Okay.
So it's like, what would make you happy? Would it make you happy to do what your mom told you to do? Would it make you happy to do what your brother told you to do? Would it make you happy to do what you want to do? It's like, well, wait, aren't I selfish? No, you're self-centered. Selfish is when you go, actually, they're being selfish. They're
Yeah.
saying, my life's not enough. I've also got to eat yours. So selfish is when you want more than just your life. You want to control more than your life. That's selfish. But to live your life is not selfish. It's self-centered. You're putting yourself in the center of your life. So don't confuse self-centered with selfish. Selfish is when you want more than you. You
Yeah.
want them and you want Israel and you want Pakistan and you want, Germany and you want, when you want more than you, you're selfish. But if you want just you, you're self-centered.
Right. So it's almost like you also have to get rid of your selfish desire to please other people's selfishness so that you can be self-centered and focus on yourself.
The truth is, most people are trying to help others because they thought it would lead to them one day.
Right.
But the truth is, you can never live for tomorrow. You have to live for today. You cannot live for something that will happen tomorrow. I call that a layaway lifetime. You can't put your
Yeah.
life on layaway.
It really is a compromise. You're putting yourself on layaway because you're thinking that it'll be your turn
Right.
next
But it's never your
tomorrow.
turn. It will never be but you'll find it never becomes your turn. It's never your turn.
Right. Right.
Because as soon as the first thing is gone, they've replaced it with another thing
All
and
right.
another thing.
So
Yeah.
that's this
So
week. Be very
we're,
self-centered.
we are ratifying our Constitution like today and tomorrow, which means we're affirming to ourselves what we're going to believe in and what we're going to practice. What's going to be my philosophy of life, right? So my philosophy of life is me first, them second. So, one thing that I did early in my life, early in my own healing was I would say, I would talk to myself, Christopher, you can help the world only after you're full and gotten all you want to eat. You can feed the world when you're full. You may not feed the world when you are hungry. I made that rule with myself. But I had to be fed first.
Yeah.
Then I can feed the world, right? Put your oxygen mask on first and then put on, right? You know, that's the way it goes. And so once I did that, I never ran out of energy
Okay. So
because
that's the focus this week, though.
the focus is I'm sharing with you my issues. The focus this week is to, listen to what your heart believes the life should be. What do you think life should be? What should your life be? Everyone knows it should be. It should be this and it should be that. Now, when you say it should be, the only rule is it has to be done just with yourself. You cannot use another person for what the world should be. You may not use another person. So, the world should, the government should be doing it. No, no, no. You cannot should
Yeah.
anything else. You can only should yourself. So I should be eating on my own. I should be making enough money to be able to pay for my own food. I should be this is what I should be. This is what I can do for myself. That's what you have power over. You don't have power over anyone else. And even though even the people who think they have power over us, they don't. They've tricked us into believing we don't have power. They never really have the power. You'll find that when you go commit a crime, no one stops you. It's only way after that you've done it that someone stops you. Right? I'm not saying people should go commit crimes. I'm just using an extreme example to show you, really, they don't really have power over you.
Yeah,
They
we
just
can do
made you
whatever we like.
correct. And if we
What?
all at the same time decide to do what we like, there's no way there'll be power over us.
Mm,
Because they won't have there's more of us than them.
that's yeah. That's the rising up to the power of us as humans is when we realize that.
Yes. And you know what?
When we
Every
all realize that.
And it's funny, a lot of people who realize that go around telling other people it. And that's not correct. That's not how you do it. You know, I am telling you after I did it. I'm not telling you before I did it. I've done it and I'm telling you. I took care of me and made myself sovereign. And then I told you guys, hey, I'm going sovereign. You might consider it too. What happens is people, for whatever reason, because they think the world is more important than themselves, they give it to the world first, and it's almost like once the world gets it, then they'll go ahead and try it, right? But the problem is the world never gets it, and the world never gets it because they'll only believe you if you do it first.
Hmm. Yeah.
You have to do it first. You have to do it first to convince the world. The world will not be convinced, jack shit, unless they see you doing it already.
Yeah, it's almost like the world in reality is a reflection of ourselves. So really the only thing that matters is our own choices. And through our self making those choices, everyone else will make their choices.
Correct. Yes, and they'll be forced to because you know when my family's like, you should be doing this, you should be this. I'm like, guys, I've got to go make choices. I can't. I don't have time to talk about what I should be doing. I'm gonna go make my choices. Bye. So it's like you'll find there's no time for them when you put yourself first.
Yeah. Okay, so that's going on this week. Any other pertinent things before we go?
Oh yes, there's a revolution. It just went right by. I didn't even listen to me. There's a revolution. um, we have a full moon coming up. That full moon is going to be. Let me get the exact date for you. The full moon is coming up on the 19th. Okay. Wait, that's December. Oh no, we have a full moon coming up on the 4th. I'm sorry, December 4th, which is this Thursday. So this Thursday, what's going to happen is so right now we ratify the Constitution today, ratify the Constitution tomorrow. Okay, and then what happens on Wednesday is we start telling people, hey, I got a new Constitution. I'm not going to do this anymore. Because I'm putting myself first. I'm not going to be able to put you first on Friday. And that's going to cause a problem because the people who've been playing the control game were counting on you to keep doing it. And so people are going to be quitting their outside jobs, basically quitting their, you know, unappointed, unpaid, unelected jobs. The jobs that you made yourself do that no one ever asked you to do, you volunteered to do it because you were doing it to play the game and earn some credit or some points or some power. And you didn't realize that you already had the points and credit and power inside of you. And so you went and borrowed power from someone else at a huge interest rate.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
And so
programming a
what
school
happens is
system.
yeah, so everyone's gonna default on that loan on Thursday. Excuse me. Yeah. This has been yeah, it's been intense. So pardon me for yawning. I'm tired, but I'm doing really good. So that full moon is where our mind can no longer take it anymore. So people's minds, some people might go nuts. I mean, if they're really on the low spectrum. So if you have somebody who is like borderline crazy, get them help or get out, get away. Okay, because this moon is going to push them over the edge. Unfortunately, this is going to be a moon that pushes people over the edge. I pray there are no bombers or gunmen and things like that, but this is the kind of moon that causes that. People who are on edge will be pushed over the edge by this full moon.
Okay. I mean, that's well documented for all full moons, right? But
That's
what
true.
makes this one
The
more?
one- This was more potent because um, we've been we've been told there's another way to think about it. So Jupiter has gone through this space already, which means that we all know there might be another way. And a year ago, we didn't know there could be another way. But now we know there might be a secret exit we don't know about. So now we know, this year we know there's something we don't know.
Yeah,
So when you put the pressure on the people and they have the power of going, but there's something we don't know, they don't necessarily respond the way they normally would respond. If they have, like with COVID, when it first started, we all just did what they said, and we got 6 feet apart, and we just did it like little trained seals. And it's because we didn't know we had other options. And it wasn't until after COVID it was like, well, actually, that's illegal. Actually, that's
right.
unconstitutional. Actually, actually, there's all these things on the books that says you can't do that. But they did do it. I know, and you followed them, right?
Yeah.
Right.
You
So,
did it as well.
right, exactly. So you're going to realize, oh, I am voluntarily doing things that I don't have to do. And once you realize you're doing things you don't have to do, obviously your question is, should you do them? And the answer is, do you love it? And if you don't love it, then it goes. So the filter is love. If you love it, it stays. If you don't love it, it goes. Well, I kind of like it, it goes. Kind of like it, goes. Not sure, goes. Like, I don't know if I want. No, if you don't know, it's gone. There's only room for one thing. I love it. That's the only thing. So if you wanna, don't be brutal. Be loving. You might find that you don't love most of your life. That doesn't mean you end it. So you don't do anything stupid like that, because once you realize you don't like your life, you're in the best position to change it. It's that you were lying to yourself that you didn't like it. You were telling yourself you liked it when you didn't. You were telling everyone else you liked it when you didn't. You were lying to yourself and you're lying to them because you're trying to make everyone happy and you're trying to keep everyone calm. But the reality is, I don't love it. Well, if you don't love it, leave it. That's the revolution.
Hmm.
And it causes a chain reaction. It will light the bomb that ignites the entire revolution. Human beings are going to start to go, oh shit. For instance, I bring this up a lot, but it's because I'm campaigning for it. But it's like, we really, from what I understand, it's illegal for the federal government to get taxes from us. It's illegal. The only reason why it's happening is because we all allowed it to happen.
Because we're
But it's
paying it.
actually, and I am paying it. Why? Because I'm afraid of the consequence.
Right.
I'm not paying it because I love it. But when I donate money, I love it, right? When I give you a present for your birthday, it's because I love it, right? So we have to change our economy to a love-based economy. It only is worth something if you love it. If you don't love it, it's not worth anything to you. And you go, well, I don't love many things. Yes, that's right. We have been told to love things we don't love. We've been living with things we don't love. We've been living with television we don't love. We've been living with productions. We've been living with everything and we don't love. That's the crisis. That's actually why everyone is sick and everyone's unhappy. It's because we're all living with things we don't love. Well, it's impractical for you to have a life of everything you love. Be realistic, Christopher. I am realistic. You can actually have a life that you love. Where you love everything. Well, I don't have the money. You don't need money. That was a lie. They lied to you about that. You can look. Homeless people are kind of happy. They're kind of happy
Yeah,
because they have total freedom, and they pretty much do anything they want, and they like it. That's why they
in the
stay
moment.
there. They like the drugs. They like it, right? So that's why they're doing it. And you know what? They're getting away with it. We're letting them do it because it's hard for us to say, "I'm sorry if you like it or not." You can't, because we go, "Well, are you going to pay for it?" No, no, no. But I think they should get off my lawn, right? Whatever. But the point is like that's the revolution. It's a love revolution. It's love revolution. Yeah.
I mean,
Um,
if you look back into history, there's been many times that power has switched, and there's been many times that laws and what we think is normal have switched, and it just happens. But sometimes it doesn't happen like in our lifetime recently, so we don't think that complete switches of how reality works is possible, but it definitely is possible. We switched systems many times in the past, and it makes sense that it's happening right now with the advent of, I mean, the technological revolution is happening as well as the energetic enhancements that are happening as well, and the upgrades to our human system that's happening.
isn't it ironic that when we build a computer that can think for itself, we start thinking for ourselves?
Yeah, it's a reflection.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the technology is attempting to recreate what we are. And so it's going to be going at a mirrored speed of us.
Yep. Exactly. It's actually going to accelerate. And it's funny because the technology was really designed to control people, and it's going to back again because the dark is such idiots. They actually created a tool that's going to kill them.
Yeah, it's always going to self-implode when you're on the dark or the quote negative side. It
Yeah.
it cannot sustain itself. That's by definition, like if it's eating others and eating itself, if that's the fuel, then it'll eat itself.
Yeah. Alive. Yeah. Totally. Everything in life takes love to keep alive. So it's like, oh, that technocrat, but it's interesting. Yeah. Um, the Catholic Church is gone. I think in less than 5 years it'll be gone. What I've seen my psychic side is that the Vatican closes, and so then suddenly it's all these independents, and for a while there'll be like independents trying to unite and trying to like restart the network, but it's just gonna keep flopping, 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 because honestly nobody loves going to church, and so they won't go. We're gonna find that we just stop doing the things we don't love. We just stop it. You know, and the only thing we're gonna do. What happened was it was COVID that actually screwed everything up for them because we were like working our asses off, so busy trying to just have make a living that we weren't able to see any of this. But then they made us sit in our house for 3 months with nothing to do, and so we all suddenly saw what was happening. So again, as an idiot, some idiots come with these plans, man. I mean, no offense, but I want them to feel stupid because they were really stupid. As far as war is concerned, they're idiots. What they did was they led us to the water,
Hmm.
thinking they were taking it away.
Yeah, I mean it's funny how that worked. I saw that same thing. Everyone went home and then they just started looking internally and then also going on YouTube and sharing ideas with other people that were at home thinking for themselves, and it was just like a chain reaction. A lot of people
Excuse
woke
me.
up during that time.
Most, yeah, and it was designed. I will say that to close down consciousness and separate it and 6 feet apart. And what it ended up doing was strengthening it.
Right.
Anytime you try to fuck with God, you're gonna end up in a bad place. You know, and that's okay. I mean, I'm not gonna focus on it really. But I just want, I'm not worried about people watching the show. No, I'm just saying, don't be worried about any stuff you see that looks threatening or whatever, because it's all going to blow up in their face. We don't have to do anything. Really, you don't have to do anything to change the world. All you have to do is change the way you treat yourself. That's
All
it.
right. And that's been the theme of the show is just like focus on that. Make sure that we're treating ourselves kindly with the utmost respect, and then that's going to bleed into the actions that we take and the thoughts that we think about ourselves.
100%. And then, what's going to happen is all the people closest to you will be like, "What's gotten into you?" And it's like, actually, it's what's gotten out of me. you know, what I mean?
Right,
It's like I no longer have this desire to please you.
right.
They're still offended too. But it's like, I'm your mother. I'm like, I
Yeah,
know, and I'm in my 50s, and so you can retire. You
yeah,
know, you know, you have grandkids. Like there's other projects out there. But it's
right.
like, but people take it upon themselves to make their lives about someone else, and that's not a life. You know, so we're in the good news is Sagittarius is very gentle, and I've had some just wow, man, because we're in Sagittarius, and I'm now free inside myself. I'm having these explosive creative genius ideas. Like, I mean, my creativity is off the hook. I mean, just off the hook of just good ideas. And what's really crazy is my networking is off the hook too. Like, I'm like, oh, be good, da da da. But how do we do da da da? And then, like, in the next scene that Christopher's in, hi, I do da da da. I was like, what the fuck? I just a minute ago said I needed this. Oh my god! Like, so, I'm having like law of attraction, like quadrupling in speed. You know, um, especially when I say especially when I'm excited. Like, oh my gosh! Now that I'm not going to church, I can do this. So I'm excited. Well, I wish I had this. Well, oh my god! I showed up really fast. It's like because there's no. There's no
Right.
no. I'm not telling myself no to anything. You know, and God never says no. God just says not yet. Sometimes it's not yet because you don't realize there's something before that to get to that. But the answer is never no. If you the only problem is everything you say you want, you have to get now because you said you wanted it. So God makes you finish your plate.
And
You
that's
say
the
you want
game.
that is the game. That is winning the game.
It's not as like easy as you would think too. If when before you have this control and this awareness of the control, you think, well, if it was that easy for me just to intend on something for me to have it, then like you almost think about it like magic. But when you actually become aware that that is how it's happening and that what we are thinking, we are creating, it's it takes practice, I should say. Not that it's not easy, but it takes practice. It's a refined skill, and that's what you work with people.
Yes, you have to work. That's what we take slowly. Yeah, and that's what we're doing. With this program is we're refining ourselves, refining our methodology because it's like I want to, I want a house full of women. And it's like, oh, now there's 25 women in the house. Oh shit, I should have asked for groceries. You know what I mean? Like, like, I gotta feed 25 women. It's like there's always a consequence to what you want. And
Right,
so, so you once you realize you have anything you want, you suddenly go, well, hold on a second, because
right.
you realize you've been asking for shitty stuff the whole time because you just want anything, you know? And so the quality of what you want goes up. Um, I've noticed like some people who don't shut up, people are like, whoa, there's people who are like hyper, gotta talk, and they just gotta talk all the time. A few of those that I've come across, they've been like, hey, gone is the need to fill every minute with a word, right? Because inside themselves, they figured out like, oh, I don't need to do this. I just need to do this.
Oh, you're actually noticing people that have been like talking to distract themselves, basically, right? Because they're chilling out.
They've been well, they they were talking all the time to prove to themselves that they're something, right?
Worthy.
Yeah, most likely worthy. Yeah, but
I
it
have
could be that
something
they're
to
good,
say.
but they were doing it to prove to themselves, and then they suddenly realized, oh, I don't have to prove it. Who says I have to prove it? Why do I think I have to prove it? You know. So and so it's like, oh shit, and then it starts chain reaction. Well, then why am I proving this? Well, why am I proving this? And so suddenly, just like your life just starts to, like, start to just peel off, like like melted crayons, and you're like, oh my god, you know what I mean? Oh my god. So yeah, I've definitely had people asking what's gotten into me. Um, yeah, I'm happy, I'm excited because I just realized I'm going to get everything I want. Like I'm literally excited because I'm like, oh my god, I'm going to get everything I want, everything. That's not a wish, that's a knowing. And if I look back, I go, I always have gotten everything I want, huh? But I've always worried that I'm not, even though I'm getting everything I want. I always worried I wouldn't. So it's funny. You just start realizing where you've wasted a lot of time in thinking. You know, in fact, yeah. Really, the conclusion people are going to come to. So we have a full moon on Thursday, and then on Friday we realize our mind is going to have this because that full moon's in Gemini. Okay, so that means what we think and feel, and it's at 13 degrees, which means revolution. So it's like what you think and feel is going to go through a revolution between Thursday and Friday, a revolution. And that means, like, I used to think and feel that I was here to help the world. But now I realize I'm just going to have fun. Right. And it's like, but the irony is, like, I have fun helping the world.
Right.
So I
Right.
was like, oh. And, so there's like this real wake up call. I was like, oh. I mean, it's not for them? No, it was always for me.
Right.
People are like, oh, you're so good. You're giving. It's serious joy. It's not for you. It's for me. Honestly, I mean, I'm not saying I won't share. I share my toys. I want everyone to have the toys I have, right? But I built it for me.
Yeah.
It's
Exactly.
my contraption. I built it for me. I wanted one, so I built it, right?
Hmm.
But see, once I'm honest about that, then things change. The type of
Yeah.
people, everything changes because we had a lot of energy caught up in just spinning. I'm like, well, do I deserve it? I don't know. Should I? No, like all back and forth, back and forth. And it's like, well, what do you want? This? Okay, we're done. This all this bickering inside yourself is now just gone. It's gone.
Yeah. Let's get aligned to ourself, everybody, and trust that that's the best for reality. Because like, what else can we do? Like, that's like, there's nothing. It's like, what is our greatest expression of ourselves? Where do we find joy? Where do we find purpose? Where do we find gratefulness and gratitude? And do it. Do it without worrying about what your parents say, what your friends will say, what other people say, what the government says. Is do it. And as long as we're all doing that, we're going to just sync up and be in alignment.
Totally. I don't even think we're going to notice them. There comes a point where you're having so much fun, you forgot about them. Oh my God, my parents, they're in the oven. It's like you forget, you totally forget.
He said they're
Um,
they're in the oven.
yeah, yeah. But it's like I'm being Hansel and Gretel funny. But it's like but you just forget. You're like, oh. In fact, I had a couple times over the week where I was like, wait, I was upset about something. What was it?
Yeah.
I literally was like, what was I upset about? And I was like, oh my God, that's funny. I'm not upset about it. I'm searching for what I was upset about. That's crazy. So I caught myself. Where's that problem? I misplaced that problem. It was somewhere here a minute ago. Where was it? And the thing is that whatever I had discovered that moment evaporated the problem immediately. And then I found myself looking for it, missing
Yeah.
it. Where's my problem? I know I left it somewhere, like my phone, So I think it's going to be quite a revolution and quite a ride. And hopefully, I hope that it's mostly just a slip and slide. That like we always be like, and then suddenly we're just, I mean, I hope humanity just like lets it go, and then we suddenly find ourselves in a music video, like,
Hmm.
it's like we're just happy. But I don't think it's going to go down that way, because I think a lot of people are angry. That's why.
Well, for
So
me, it's been feeling like I'm in a washing machine the last few days. So I'm getting jostled around a little bit. And yeah, and that's like happening during this live as well. I just like lots of emergencies just happened all at once today. So apologies for being late. Everybody, we're here every single week, noon Pacific time. Chris is so gracious enough to give us his expertise and his time and his energy. And so thank you everybody for being here, and Chris, you as well. Any
thanks,
last
brother.
words?
Go have fun. I would say follow the yellow brick road. So
Yeah.
the yellow brick road is, every step should be fun. If it's not fun, you've fallen off the road. You know, so follow the yellow brick road. Just follow. As soon as you take a step that's fun, another fun step will pop up. I promise. And then take that step, and another fun step will pop up. Take that step, and honestly, it's like, what? I can get away with this? Oh, here's how. It's like this is how it's built.
Yeah.
This is actual manufacturing. So it's gonna be fun, and I think I just can't wait. It's already fun. I'll just end with this. I'm meeting so many cool people. I keep saying this, but like I'm meeting like high school kind of bestie kind of new. I suddenly have besties like high school. Like as I cannot. The law of attraction is like happening so amazingly fast for me. And I'm talking like at a grocery store. I'm anywhere. It's just like, oh my God, it's right. You too? Like it's like, like, oh my God, my twins right here in the grocery store line. Like it's and we both know it. And we're on the same page and we both have been noticing the same thing. It's like it's crazy. So once you start skipping down that yellow brick road, ease on down that road, ease on down the road. Remember that? Once you start to ease on down the road, man, it's so much fun. You'll forget about our show.
Yeah. Well, thanks for sharing that. And I hope the
Yeah.
same for everybody else.
Yes, and we'll have no audience. And that means I'll be out playing.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So, and blessings to you and your family and your baby.
Thank
So
you.
yeah.
Thank
So
you.
there's been a lot. Everyone, remember I said last week, guys. Everyone's gonna go through a period where they just can't stop shitting. Okay. I'm not kidding. I
Yeah,
lost
you said that last week.
14 pounds. I lost 14 pounds.
Wow.
But because all the water in my body, because once you realize it's all a gimmick, your body just goes and releases all of the negative toxins, everything. So, don't be worried because what it is just cleansing. The body knows exactly what it's doing.
Yes.
And-
Yes to
yeah.
that.
Yeah. And everyone's like, you should be doing this and you should be doing that. I was like, shh, I should be having a hamburger. Like, I just tuned it all out. Usually I listen to everyone, what is it? Echinacea? Like this time I was just, what I mean? Like this time is like, no, it's lemonade.
Yeah, yeah.
And I'm not saying be
Party time.
irresponsible, but I'm saying your heart knows what's best for you. There's no other expert than your heart. Your heart is the expert of who you are. So if it likes it, it's the right path. If you don't like it, it's not the right path. It's that fucking simple. Okay? So
Epic. Yeah.
have a great week, everybody. We'll
Bye
see
bye,
you.
everybody.
Yeah, the Rainbow Revolution will be next week. It's gonna be fun. Talk to you
Okay.
then.
Looking forward to
Ciao.
it. Bye bye.